What's going on, you guys? It is your girl, Dayna Patreace, aka the Black Fairy, and I am here with my very first video, which is on the goddesses of war. Okay, a peek into feminine rage. We're going to get into what that means and why I'm even doing this video. But first, I would love to just get the intro out the way, so let's get into it.
Yes, I fall in love with myself and I want someone to share it with me. I want someone to share me with me.
What's going on, you guys? Am I muted? No, okay. I'm sorry, I'm still getting used to StreamYard. We are here to talk about these three goddesses of war that I have discovered on my little journey. This video, I decided to speak on the goddesses of war just because it came to me. I was actually challenged in one of my TikTok video comment section about how anger is not a feminine attribute and how women need to stay in their place. And it's just funny to me how the patriarchy and masculine energy likes to take credit for all of that. And I'm noticing more and more in history that that's in fact not the case. Some of the bravest, strongest, most feared warrior gods were actually goddesses. And what I found about them was not only that were they ruthless, okay, in um, this aspect of war, they were also, it was fueled by, I'll say, a feminine rage, a rage that men say cannot be matched by the feminine. But with what I'm seeing, I'm sorry, I just disagree. I totally disagree on that. And we're going to get into that as I present these three goddesses that I've chosen. If you see the icon, I did post the three. Um, but I did, just before I get into it, wanted to just touch on, you know, how we're even presented as goddesses. Like I said, this kind of came to me, this topic came to me from someone challenging me in my comment section about the anger of some women, as if we don't have a right to be angry, or that it's not feminine to feel that, as if it is our job to just take it because it is our role. Um, and that's how it's always been. But that's couldn't be further than the truth. That's not how it's always been. As you look more into history, prior to patriarchy being the dominated way of being in society, that could be furthest from the truth. We've seen evidence of feminine rage, as I like to call it, throughout history that was just, and that was, I wouldn't even say a match for masculine rage, but I feel like it's above and beyond that, you know? So, um, even when we look at society, we are presented with goddesses as, more of the meek, mild, and docile sense. They tend to play up the sexualness of, the feminine, and the softer side of the feminine, the love of the feminine. They present, again, that to be angry is to be masculine. But with these goddesses, I'm about to show y'all that that's not true, right? This is in no way to get you to worship any of these beings, um, because I do believe that, uh, as far as spiritual wise, I have a different view. So I'm not promoting to do work with any of these beings. Just as a disclaimer, we are just taking a look at these beautiful feminine goddesses as these goddesses of war, and really understanding the energies, right? Because these are feminine energies. So if feminine energy is isn't involved in things such as war, then how do these beings exist? These feminine beings exist in our history, whether they are myths to embolden and encourage and strengthen the divine woman as to who she is as a whole, or otherwise, right? So that is the purpose of this video. So I'm going to share my screen, and we are going to get into pretty much what I want to present to you guys. So look at me all on this ish doing the damn thing. So we're going to actually start with Athena. She is a goddess of war. She is also wise. Okay, she is a goddess of wisdom. When she is at war, she is very logical. She is very cutthroat. Okay, she is presented here as the daughter of Zeus. She came from him fully grown. Okay, armor and all. Okay, that's how she came into being, ready for war. She is also a goddess of chastity, so she upholds virginity. Again, I'm not here to talk about that either, but I do think that there is a place in it, and I do not think that sex is bad or anything like that. I am okay with sexual energy of the goddess. I'm just explaining this particular goddess, and I think we all go through phases where we are, celibate, um, abstaining, and I feel like her energy upholds even that. It's not a place of judgment, to say that to be more promiscuous is to be less feminine, less goddess like. I'm just presenting this goddess and what she kind of stood for. We are going to get into that. I do have the video ready here. So let's get into it. And as I present it to y'all, I will be stopping the video and I'm sorry I got cut off there. Am I here still? Am I here still? Can y'all hear me? Can y'all still hear me? Okay. Okay, I think you guys can hear me. Whew. All right. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of editing on this baby a little later on, but that's okay. That's cool. I can see that you can hear me now, and that is all that's important. So again, we are gonna get into this video of Athena. It is going to tell her story. I will be stopping the commentary to do commentary. What's up with me? All the video links will be below if you are wanting to watch it thoroughly. I'm not going to show all of it, right? But I do want to give credit to where credit's due. And if you want to look more at where I found this, you can go ahead and follow the links. They will be in the description box as well. So I'm gonna just mute up and we're gonna get into this video.
Greek goddess, daughter of Zeus, born fully grown and in full armor, ready for battle. She is a virgin goddess, There are many different versions of Athena's birth and her conception. Often it is read that Athena did not have a mother, but that Zeus laid with Metis, the goddess of crafty thought and wisdom, and it had been prophesied that Metis would have many children, and that they would indeed become more powerful than the sire, including Zeus himself. Zeus simply could not accept this, so he swallowed Metis whole, but it was too late. Metis had already conceived. One day, Zeus experienced a terrible headache. He got Hermes to split his head open to ease the pain, and with that emerged Athena, fully grown and in full armor. It is said the skies darkened, the sea got angry, and the waves rose. Athena had arrived. Athena is a warrior goddess, a wise woman.
So I would just like to say we can see here already with the story of Athena, this beautiful warrior goddess, this wise woman, her conception. I think even I'm not, and don't quote me on this because a lot of Zeus's endeavors, it was not consensual. It was not consensual. And I feel like even though they don't touch on this in this video, I'm not certain that this was conceptual. And to see how it was even turned into something that could be used against him giving birth to children that will be even more powerful than he is. And then that threat of that divine feminine energy having that hold on him and wanting to swallow it whole and get rid of it, even though it was due to his own actions, that couldn't stop what spirit had in store for this masculine energy, this tyrant masculine energy. Because Zeus was a tyrant in this way. A lot of his, um, I don't want to get, I'm not sure what I can say on YouTube. So a lot of his like little, we'll say sexual endeavors, um, were not consensual. They were not consensual. So this being a cosmic punishment, that it would give birth to children that would then even, be stronger than him. And then we're also seeing with Athena as this beautiful warrior goddess coming out full grown as her full beautiful self, ready for war, ready for that in all her divinity, right? So the divine feminine can be born out of rage. And we're gonna talk about that a little bit more, but we're gonna continue the video because we're gonna talk about her specifically a little bit more.
And is normally depicted with a shield, a sword, and a breastplate. She rides a chariot. She is a protective goddess and inspires women to empower their inner strength and courage. She is fierce and brave in battle. The animal associated with Athena is an owl, probably due to her wisdom aspect. Athena, although a battle goddess, used initiative and wisdom to beat her opponents. Instead of using violence and anger, she did not like fighting without a purpose. Athena is a goddess that gets things done. Nothing is too big for Athena to take on. As well as being a warrior goddess, Athena was also involved in crafts. She invented the horse's bit so horses could be tamed, and she is a protective guardian of horses, often depicted in a chariot pulled by them. The olive tree is another symbol related to Athena. She competed with Poseidon to become the patron of Athens, which before that time was unnamed. It is said that Poseidon, god of the sea, struck the earth with a trident, and a spring emerged, giving water and means of trade. However, the water was salty and unfit for drinking. Athena.
So again, just for my commentary, what did it like did you see that although she's this amazing goddess of war, logical, wise, strategic, things that we are taught don't exist within the feminine embodiment of being, because they try to, as a patriarchal society, try to tell us that we are just not that. We don't have it in us. The reason why they got rid of these images, because if we thought that it was possible, what would we do with our rage as women? I'm just talking about the state of the world. I truly believe the providers and the protectors are the women. I think that men are to provide and protect in a different way, and it has nothing to do with this aspect. Because if it did, you wouldn't see the world in the state that it is at this moment, with what it is with trafficking and other things that are happening that really should be enraging us, but we are so desensitized, and our focus is so much on finding a partner and building this nuclear family life, which I also want to challenge at some point. Um, Instead of really being a community together, looking out for each other, not allowing these injustices to just pass us by. You mean, there's a lot of things that just bother me, and that's why I do want to touch on more on these topics, as I stated in my video um, prior to this one, where I allowed myself to reintroduce myself, was because this is a women empowerment channel as of right now. I am putting the feminine and the divine feminine being at the forefront of a lot of what I'm speaking of. And it is because there is an awakening going on. And I know I'm not alone. And I think it's important for us to learn of the different aspects of femininity that we have within us and that we hold within us as a power, because there is a reason why that they don't really push the agenda of again, strong women in history and things like that. But we're gonna get into more. I'm gonna let this finish out. I don't think there's too much more I want to play as they go into how to work with Athena. Again, that is not the purpose of this video, but I'm just gonna let it finish out a little bit more so we can learn a little bit more about her. But to me, again, taking a peek into that feminine rage, we do have the ability to be um, just as cunning as the masculine when it comes to war. And I think even more so, because the women have a duality about them. Although that the goddesses that I've found, like Athena, are have their things about them, right? They also have this duality of being very loving and kind and wise and and as much of a powerful goddess of war, they also have these other softer feminine parts, showing that there is true duality within the feminine being. But again, I'm going to let this continue.
Athena gave the gift of the olive tree, as it provided wood, oil, and food. King Kepkrox accepted the tree and gave Athena the patronage. The Athenians founded the Parthenon, which they dedicated to Athena. Athena would stand up and fight for what she believed in, but she would not hold back. If someone crossed her path, she protected her chastity fiercely and woe betide anyone who questioned or challenged it. She was a proud, virgin goddess. One of the stories is that one day Athena went to see Hephaestus for some armor. He became amorous with Athena and tried.
I just wanted to touch on her and even her birth, because again, and I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure her coming into existence when it wasn't under consensual terms. I'm sure that even her father consuming her mother to try to stop her from even being born was something that she held inside of her, that where she didn't want to give her power away to a male counterpart, at least, and how she her chastity, apparently even like having a chastity belt to ensure that she could not be um, taken advantage of in this way, is important for us to view as women. whether we are promiscuous or not. I do feel like there is an importance of how we go about doing so in the events of, some will say don't do it at all. I'm not necessarily going to at that belief at this point, but again, I'm learning just like you are, but I do think that that's where a lot of that virtue came from, and even that unwantingness. And again, is just a patriarchal version of her story. I want to dig deeper into these goddesses. That's why I said it's just a peek. We're just looking based off just this comment that was made to me that kind of had me thinking. It made me go onto this kind of like deep dive. Okay.
Tried to violate her, but she protected herself so fiercely that Hephaestus could not have what he wanted. Instead, he scattered his seed onto the earth, which shortly gave birth to a son called Erythornius. The child was found by Athena, who brought him up. He grew to maturity.
Do you see this again? His seed scattered and just created more beings that would come to pass and arise to establish more for the divine feminine every time.
And became the king of Athens, where he established the solemn cult of Athena. As mentioned before, Athena, although a battle goddess, used initiative and wisdom to beat her opponents instead of using violence and anger. She is a very protective goddess and can be called upon in many situations. She will fight your corner, but at the same time bring a gentleness along too. Athena is a goddess to call upon if you find yourself being treated unfairly, especially.
Okay, so this is where it kind of goes into like what you would use the Athena for if you wanted to call on her. And that's all well and good, but this is not the video for that. So, um, I definitely want to, let me just go back to here. So I definitely like look at Athena, even though she didn't use anger, again, she recognized injustice. And I feel like, again, this has been kind of not showcased to us as women because we'd get ideas, right? We would totally get some ideas about how we feel and what we feel is injustice. And we have every right to that because as women, we have endured a lot. Okay, as women, we have endured a lot and have been enduring a lot. I said it in my first video, and I'll say it in this video. I'll probably say it in every video. Women were the first to be enslaved. Okay, and we are still being enslaved. I feel like a lot of women are waking up to it, and this is why I'll be reading books that more highlight and how this world even got to be, because I do believe that there are lessons to be learned from all of that stuff. Um, we are going to get into the second goddess. Let's see here, one second. Which is Kali Ma, another goddess of war. She has actually, like, there's many names for her, okay? She goes by the dark goddess. She goes by the goddess of death, the goddess of destruction. Okay, she is a force that rules the
Once
universe.
upon a time.
One second. My apologies. That's not even the video either. I'm pulling up the video as I'm speaking to y'all. Um, so she was a force that ruled the universe. She's still actually very much, um, we'll say, worshipped at this time, especially in the Hinduism is where she's from. Sorry if I didn't get that right, right? But she is a goddess of just ultimate power, and she is a goddess of war. And I want you to take note of her anger when she is injustice. I know Athena doesn't use her anger, but even in the face of injustice, she recognizes wrong and she uses her strategicness and wisdom to fight. In this case, um, Kali Ma is a bit more aggressive, and we're going to get into that. So actually, let me go here, and we are going to share the screen again. Make myself a little smaller here. There we go. And let's get into Kali Ma a little bit.
Not just through the act of doing, but by providing hope to those in need. It's not just
Kali is one of Hinduism's most powerful and famous goddesses. She is known for her dark beauty and destructive nature, but is also admired for her wisdom and liberating power. The goddess of destruction is depicted as sullen and frightening, with dark skin, a stretched tongue, and visible teeth, usually holding a sword and a severed head. The sword symbolizes her ability to cut through men's illusions that hold them to earthly suffering, while the head symbolizes ego death. The long hair appears loose, and she is usually depicted dancing with the god Shiva at her feet. This feat symbolizes the dualism between the goddess's fury and Shiva's calm and wisdom.
Does this picture look like she's dancing with him? It looks like she's conquering him. Again, there's this patriarchal view of how they want you to look at these goddesses. Even in the depiction of what he's saying, this picture is the head beheading them and the ego, again, represented by more of that masculine energy, her conquering that, even to the point where she is standing and conquering over her own husband. This is a goddess, again, of ultimate power and has ultimate place in the universe. You know, she has a relentless anger in the face of injustice. And I said that to say, if you look at the state of the world, it is for women. The injustices that we see every day, how are we fighting back? How are we now desensitized so much so that it's not even just affecting women, but women and young children, including young boys, right? And what this system does to it. Kali's energy would not put up with it. And again, I'm not encouraging y'all to go and be violent out there with these men. I'm just saying that there is a righteousness to our rage, and I think that we should start tapping into that. I wanted to get this clip of from American Gods. You know, anger gets shit done. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't necessarily have to be violence, which is why I started with Athena, right? It could be strategic and logical, but we do have to start coming together. We do have to recognize the anger. We don't have to allow the anger to consume us to a point where we are like them, but we can use it to be above them. We are in right now in a space where we are rising energetically, and we have to decide what kind of world we are imagining for ourselves, not the world that they want to present to us, but the world that we are creating. And we are kind of in, what's the words I want to use? Let me out. Sorry, y'all. You don't know I live downtown. I'm pretty sure you heard that big old truck go by. But us coming together and unifying in what we want to see. It matters, you know? And I feel like we are told to just tuck away our rage and find the happiness. And yes, we are supposed to heal from our rage, but a part of that is getting justice. And I don't, we need to just come together. It doesn't have to be a negative thing, but we'll continue. Hold on. Let's continue and learn about Kali. Sorry.
She is the goddess of destruction and death. She is also considered the goddess of infinite time and one of the forces that rules the universe, destroying what is old and decaying to allow for renewal and rebirth. Kali is known for her relentless anger in the fight against the forces of evil. The main story involving Kali takes place when her husband, the god Shiva, confronts the demon Raktabija. This demon was wreaking havoc on Earth. Every drop of his blood that fell to the ground turned into a new demon. To confront Raktabija, Shiva asked his wife Kali for help. The goddess began to fight Raktabija, but the situation seemed hopeless. Each time she killed a demon, another one sprang up from the enemy's blood. Kali decided to suck out all of Raktabija's blood with her mouth, preventing the birth of new demons. But even with the demon defeated, her rage remained, unbalancing the universe. Shiva.
So again, we have here her rage could not be quelled. And it was due to injustice. It was due to these demonic entities. And we're at a time where there's a lot of demonic entities that are in charge, and we act like it shouldn't be our place to um, change that as women. But I feel like that's what's holding us apart. And I do feel like there is, again, this is just another example, whether you believe in it religiously or not, that there is divine femininity in rage, especially when there is injustice. And there is a lot of injustice going on when you look at what's going on in the world to women at the hands of men. And I do believe that we've let these gods of war run rampage for far too long. I believe that a part of the awakening, and again, they say the future is feminine, the divine feminine is rising, but we have to look at what that really means and not allow them to still look at this from their masculine patriarchal lens, because it is a lens that is meant to, let me let this pass by. That is meant to desensitize us and dissuade us, if that's a word, from really being empowered, and I believe that that's changing, but I believe that it's, how can I put it? It begins with us recognizing who we really are as women on this earth. We are the first beings. Men came from us. Men came after women. We did not come together. I'll be looking at that story um, once again with y'all. We're going to go over that story. I'm going to debunk some things about that particular story. Um, you may not like it, but the truth is truth, right? And that's what I'm in search for. I'm searching for real truth and real power, real divine femininity, and not what men tell me it is, but what it truly is and where it truly comes from, and why it's been so heavily erased from history, so that they can keep us enslaved to this system, right? So, again, we're going to get into it, but I'm going to let this run.
Shiva lay down at Kali's feet to keep her calm, and she placed her foot on his chest. Based on this story, Kali came to be depicted with one foot on Shiva's chest, symbolizing the balance between power and temperance. The worship of Kali is quite common in Hinduism. Her devotees seek to achieve protection, wisdom, and transformation.
So, we're actually going to take a quick break. Give us a moment before we go into the next video. Let's get into this.
Hey, you guys, it's your girl Dayna Patreace, aka the Black Fairy, and this is just a quick reminder to please like, share, comment, okay? Subscribe, click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any lives or new videos that I'm posting, and I promise to be posting more than ever now. And that is just a free way to help support me and support this channel, and it costs you nothing, okay? So, without further ado, this quick reminder is now over. Thank you for watching.
Okay, so please again like the video, subscribe, leave a comment, and let me know that you stopped by. We are going to continue with the final goddess, which is Sekhmet. Okay, the goddess of vengeance, the powerful one, the sun goddess. Okay, hailing from Egyptian. Well, and that's to be determined because you know what? I've just been finding out so much as I've been digging and deep diving into where these beliefs came from that there's so much to this. Like, there's so much to this. But we are going to look at like what we see as the blah 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 the Egyptian goddess Sekhmet, another goddess, beautiful goddess energy of war. Again, her the story of Sekhmet, just a relentless, a lioness goddess that um, I believe as women we should revere and respect. This is again, this is not about trying to get anybody to work with any type of beings. Okay, I just want to keep saying that, but we can learn from these feminine embodiments of energy. These stories come from somewhere. They are meant to teach us things about ourselves. And like I said, even Kalima had that duality to her. She is not just this goddess of war who went off about and enraged and started going to war and cutting off the heads of demons and other beings alike, right? In her rage for the injustice that had occurred. She also has this pure, loving side, which again is something that I believe women have a true duality that men just do not have. Some men, a lot of men, and I'm not going to say it's because they don't have the power to have it. I just don't think that a patriarchal society is one that nurtures it. And they are not in balance with their feminine selves, and in a lot of ways haven't been on the same path as women as far as emotional maturity and self realization. They are behind us in this aspect, and we're going to look at that as well if you want to challenge that, because I have my reasons for saying it. It's not me, just my feelings and my own anger with the things that I've come across and had to go through as a woman, um, living in this patriarchal world. However, it's backed by science, biology, psychology as well. And I like to look into these things and learn more because it frees my mind and allows me to grow and also want better because we do deserve better. I said this in my previous video as well. Um, Not everyone's genes are supposed to be passed on, and patriarchy has created a system where every man gets a woman, and every man gets to procreate and every man gets a woman, and that's just not even the case. It's not supposed to be the case. You can look at nature and to confirm this in a lot of ways, and as we look at the biology of our closest ancestors and things like that, it's just not how things were done. All right, but this is not about that. I'm always getting off track, it seems. This is about these beautiful goddesses of war and a divine feminine placement where we can see how there is divine femininity when it comes to the emotion of rage and anger, especially in the face of injustice, which we see a lot of now. So let's get into it. I'm going to pull up this video here. One moment.
Sekhmet is the goddess of vengeance in Egyptian mythology. She is represented as a woman with a lioness head. The name Sekhmet means the powerful one. According to some versions, she was the daughter of Ra, the sun god. Therefore, she is also identified as a sun goddess. Ra begot Sekhmet to punish men who refuse to obey the god's designs. The lioness goddess descended from heaven to earth and began to enforce Ra's vengeance on men. The goddess was ruthless with those who were unfaithful to Ra. Sekhmet spread terrible diseases and devoured Ra's enemies. However, the goddess took delight in bloodshed. The goddess's bloodlust was so great that Sekhmet began to guide her rage against the innocent.
But I thought anger and rage were masculine things. That women had no place in war, could not defeat the masculine energy force that is supposedly more violent in nature. Um, Yet we have all of these stories of these goddesses who not only indulged, consumed, and got, again, so so enraged, so determined, so angry that they could not be stopped. They had to go to great lengths in order to stop that rage. And I feel like a lot of women are feeling that rage either through their own life experiences or just seeing again what's happening in places like the United States, where they have taken away a lot of women's rights in a lot of these states. You know, there's this anger, and we are told that um, we cannot blah 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 blah, blah. What was I gonna say? We cannot fight back. If we do, things will get worse. I don't think that's the case. I think if we all come together and we channel this rage and we create change and we utilize these energies to be our drive in this war that is happening against us as women, I feel as though we can and we would and we will make a change. I do feel like more and more women are waking up to this. Again, I see it all the time on mostly on my TikTok when I do these videos. A lot of women share a lot of stories with me, and it gets me thinking. And then I start seeing these little videos and I start doing my little research, and spirit confirms and it aligns, right? But let's get more. I'm gonna let this continue.
Ra became worried when he realized his daughter was out of control. To diminish her desire for blood, he devised a plan. Ra offered wine to the lioness goddess. She, thinking it was blood because of the color, drank the wine with pleasure. The drink calmed the goddess, and the sun god took her back to heaven. Sekhmet was also considered a warrior goddess and defender of Egypt. Egyptian soldiers
They had to liquor her up. They had to trick her in order to, because she turned it on the innocents. And I can see how, again, that just tells me like, even at the end of the day, a feminine energy could be so consumed with rage and anger, whether they're fighting on behalf of themselves or their families and the ones that they love, that it turned into something different where in order to be stopped, she had to be satiated, she had to be calmed, um, you know, pretty much roofing her in order to get her to stop, because it had become where she did not know the enemies from the innocent, right? So this is the kind of rage that they say it has no place in divine feminine. And maybe that's why they fear it, right? They tell us that it has no place because they see how much damage this energy can do. Um, let's continue. Let's continue.
believed that Sekhmet fought alongside them against Egypt's enemies. After bloody battles, the priests who accompanied the army held ceremonies to thank the lioness goddess for her protection. These ceremonies also soothed the goddess and showed that more bloodshed was unnecessary. Sekhmet was also considered the pharaoh's protector. She was always at the ruler's side until the day of his death, when she escorted him to the entrance of the other world. When a hot wind blew, the Egyptians believed it to be the lioness goddess's breath. Capable of breeding disease to punish her enemies, she could also stop any sickness. Therefore, the Egyptians begged Sekhmet to cure them. For this reason, the goddess also had the epithet Lady of Life. The city of Memphis was the center of worship of the goddess. On the last day of the year, a great festival was held in honor of the goddess. This celebration was paired with a lot of wine, as they wished to please Sekhmet and avoid the wrath of the powerful goddess of vengeance.
So, do you see how feared and revered she was and is for those who still work with her? There's a certain respect that is given to her and a certain reverence, right? This is a divine feminine energy, right? Ruthless to her core. Okay, she had to. We saw what they had to do to tame her, but yet she's also known for medicine, healing, and also is a goddess of love. So you see again that duality that women, feminine energies have within us that honestly I don't see in the male gods. I don't. I could be wrong. I'm not saying I'm right, but I have not yet seen it presented in the male god because there is this other side to them that they show mercy, grace, love, passion. Um, they don't seem to have that balance, and I think that there's a reason why. I do think that again, I don't think it's absent of them. I think that in order for a patriarchal society to work, they necessarily can't allow them to tap into that duality. But I do think there was a time where they did, and I do think it was a time of more peace. I do think it was a time where women were in charge. Um, Again, I will be reading the book When God Was a Woman. I am going to get that video done. I'll be reading, I think, introduction through to chapter 2, so that we can start really learning the historical aspects. But yeah, I'm gonna let this roll, and we're gonna talk a little bit more. Okay, so the video's done, right? I didn't choose long videos. Again, it wasn't for the purpose of oops, let me go to here. So it wasn't for really the purpose of getting you to work with these beings or to even, let me see here, sorry. Okay, one moment. I'm still getting used to this. But it was for the purpose of you becoming, just a little bit more aware that your anger has a place and purpose. And I think if we learn to utilize it, be smart about it, come together, and use our divine feminine energies, we can make a change um, that could impact the world, y'all. I'm being for real. Before we get just into this last part of the video, I'm just gonna play another, just a quick break while I just put this together for us.
Hey, y'all. Do you need a gratitude journal? Well, if you do, me, myself, and I, Dayna Patreace, aka the Black Fairy, have gratitude journals available for sale in the link below. They go for $6.99 USD, and no worries. By clicking the link in the bio, it will send you straight to your country and to your currency. So don't worry about that. But just to give you a rough estimate, it is $6.99. Now, if you didn't know, gratitude is one of the best ways to not only affirm what it is that you want in your life, but to affirm what it is you want to see in your life. With that being said, this is a great tool and opportunity for you to take a part of. It's an inexpensive way for you to tap into the law of attraction. I highly, highly recommend it. And I love y'all. Link in the bio below.
Hey y'all. So I'm going through a little thing here backstage. This is why I'm glad I pre-recorded this because I'm still getting used to StreamYard. But the more I use it, the more I learn. Let's see here. So I wanted to just end this video with this video that I saw on TikTok. It just, I don't know, it touched me and it spoke on the femininity of rage. And I just love the way this girl put this together. Um, it's a channel on TikTok that I like. Let me actually just go to mine because I'm pretty sure I'm following her. Okay, I think I have it together, y'all. I think I have it together. I'm so sorry. Let's get into this. Let me share the screen. Okay. So this video right here, I don't know, it was beautiful to me personally. It it was the embodiment of, I think, like, it's just like, it's even like what it says here, are you ready to feel your rage? And I ask you, are you ready to feel it and actually be able to put it in a direction where it creates change so that women can be truly at peace in this world amongst men, right? So let's get into it. Let's check it out.
If women allowed ourselves to feel our rage, then the whole world would burn. Our rage is the weapon. Don't be afraid. A new world will grow in the ashes. If women allowed ourselves.
So short but sweet, but that's how I feel about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is how I feel about this at this moment in time. And why are we taught not to feel our rage? Even the comment section, right? She's like, I was taught anger wasn't ladylike. You know, I'm so full of feminine rage, I just need to find out how to use it. And I feel like the use of it is us coming together in this feminine rage, making the changes, providing and creating communities where women can feel safe, where women can truly heal, where women can truly heal. And I think it has to happen amongst each other. I think that we need to be able to tap into our matriarchal roots and really be real about what that truly looks like for women. Because in a patriarchy, women will always be underneath men. We will never be their equals. You know, people might say that's a terrible thing to say, but from what we see, it's exactly what it is, right? So we're going to be right back, and I'm going to conclude this.
Hey, you guys, it's your girl, Dayna Patreace, aka the Black Fairy. And I am just here to remind you, please like, share, comment, subscribe, okay? Click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any new videos or any new lives, okay? I will be coming here with more and more information. So please, you don't want to miss out. And this is just a quick reminder and a quick thank you because it's a free way to support the channel and to support me. I love y'all.
Okay, y'all. So thank you so much for, if you watch this video the whole way through. I know it is a little bit long, but these topics aren't, you know, short topics. And I just really wanted to give a quick little reminder to you that as a lot of us women have gone through things, especially by my age, you know, I'm a young 40-year-old woman who's gone through a lot of trauma and mostly at the hands of men. um, I can say that, you know, addressing and facing my rage has only helped me become better. And I feel like I want to create that space for others. I know that there are men who have faced violence against other men. And I just think that as a woman, I don't know what that's like. So I can't speak on it. But again, all are welcome here if you are come in respect and learning. You know what I'm saying? So that being said, y'all, I'm going to conclude this video and I'm going to answer the question. Well, there was no question, but this was a peek into feminine rage. Do I think women have it in us to have the anger and the strength to overcome? I do. I think it's been far removed from us. I think that it's important to continue the path on really learning about that aspect of ourselves and allowing us to step into it willingly. Again, I'm not saying you should go out and do violent acts against men or the people that have harmed you. What I'm saying is we can find a way to harness it, to come together, to protect ourselves and our future. And I think that it just starts with us being open to learning and open to, again, coming together, trusting each other again, because we've been told that we can't, and we've been put up in positions where we could not. And I think we need to break those chains. So if you're down for that, then this is the channel for you. I love y'all, and I'll talk to y'all soon.
Yes. I fall in love with myself, and I want someone to share it with me. I want someone to share me with me.